I'm home.
Hi, darling.
Hi, Bam. Where are the kids?
Oh, they're out in the back playing. What's the matter?
What makes you think there's something the matter?
Oh, come on. Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
What's the problem?
It's the age-old problem. To be involved or not to be involved. That is the question.
With who?
The Committee of 40?
Oh.
Yeah, Bill Purvis wants me to head it up.
Well, I thought Kenny Briggs was running that.
He had a heart attack.
A heart attack?
Yeah, so he's out. Purvis thinks there's a good chance of getting an anti-gambling ordinance passed this year. With a little enthusiasm, some hard work. He made quite a speech.
Well, I bet he did. Why didn't he take it himself, huh?
He said the committee needed a younger man.
Oh. And how did you get out of it?
I didn't. At least, not right away. I said I'd think about it.
You're not seriously considering this.
Well, you don't turn a man down flat on a thing like this. It's quite a compliment.
Oh, come off it, Mike. They're looking for a sacrificial goat. Why stick your neck out?
Well, they made quite a deal about civic duty, and they may be right.
Civic duty, my foot.
I don't know. I keep wondering where a man's responsibility ends. With himself, his family, just that small, charmed circle?
Just. That's a big enough responsibility for any man in this day and age.
What happens here in this community affects us, affects our kids. It means an obligation.
Oh, there must have been some speech he made. Darling, do me a favor. Talk it over with Pop.
I did. He doesn't think much of it either.
Well, you see, he's had 30 years of experience in this town. Every year there's a new reform group, and everybody gets excited and they make a lot of speeches, and then there are a few phony raids and a few pictures in the paper, and then the whole committee folds up without a ripple, and everyone forgets about it. Until next year.
Yeah, next year they're stronger, more firmly entrenched. And it isn't just gambling anymore. It's prostitution, drugs, it works.
That's never been proved.
Are you kidding? What about that big fancy club up in the hill that cost Sam King and his silent partners $1 million to buy and furnish? You think that's a charitable institution?
Honey, you can't legislate morality.
No, but you can try and prevent one man's immorality from affecting others. That's why we have laws against theft and murder. What we need here are laws with teeth in them and men with guts to enforce them.
Well, Pop's been fighting that very same battle with City Hall for years.
Right. And how many times have you heard him say he's helpless? A mayor whose hands are tied behind him by a commission who won't give him enforceable statutes, and even if he got them, our fearless police chief, Walter Towns, wouldn't enforce them.
Well, then what in the world do you think you can do about it?
Not only that, I could bring pressure to bear. Pressure of public opinion, pressure at the polls. I don't want to sound like Paul Revere, but there's an article here in the evening paper on page 1 about Sam King buying a hunk of property on River Road to erect, quote, a resort hotel, unquote. You know what that means?
Mike, face facts. For as long as anyone can remember, Winton Falls has been the convention city. Now that means that people come here to have a good time and to spend a lot of money. If you're going to live here, you will have to learn to be tolerant.
Rumor has it that the Syndicate's involved.
The Syndicate?
Yeah, the big boys. This thing's got to be stopped now. Otherwise, this will become a one-industry town, and that industry will be vice.
Mike, don't get involved.
I keep thinking about our kids. What happens if they get into the hands of some dope pusher? Would you like that?
No, I wouldn't like it.
Well, neither would I, so I think the time has come to show a little intolerance.
If you start an investigation, a real one, you know who it'll hit, don't you?
Sure, every racketeer in town, I hope.
You know who else? You. And us. You're making a mistake.
I think of myself as a principled man. What good are principles if you don't act on them? How solid is a belief if it isn't worth fighting for?
There has been open gambling in this town, and no committee yet has been able to stop it. If there is a syndicate involved, you'll be taking a terrible risk.
Martha, just living is risky. I tell you, I'm tired of claiming principles I do nothing about. Somebody has to care. I claim I have principles. I say I care. Well, if I care, what am I going to do about it?
Insight. Stories of spiritual conflict in the 20th century. Insight.
How do you do? I'm Father Kieser. Mike Burnett's destiny, like that of every other human being, is the face-to-face vision of God, the union of his soul with God through love. This happy state is the end and goal of everyone's existence. It's why you have been made. All that you do must be directed to the fulfillment of this one central purpose. The fact that you have an eternal and spiritual destiny does not mean, however, that the affairs of time and the concerns of earth are not important. Nothing could be further from the truth. What you do in time determines how you spend eternity. You achieve your destiny in the next world only by doing the will of God in this one. What does this mean? Fidelity to principle, obedience to the law of love, unselfish involvement in the service of others. I'm my brother's keeper. Doesn't this also make me society's keeper? I am responsible for its welfare. I am duty-bound to seek its health. God expects me to do all I can to construct a society conducive to the realization of man's spiritual and eternal destiny. This is no easy job. Modern social life is very complex. It's so easy to say, I'll take care of myself. Let somebody else worry about the common good. This is a temptation. It must be resisted. The common good is of common concern. All are bound to seek it. But how? And at what price? These are the questions the hero of today's drama must wrestle with.
You're not eating?
Martha, how are you?
Manny, come in.
Thank you. Is Mike home?
Yes, he's just finishing breakfast. Would you care to wait?
Thank you, yes.
Manny Burns. Didn't take him long to get here.
Oh, boy. Well, Manny.
Hello, Mike, how are you?
Okay, did you have breakfast?
Yes, thank you, I'm all right. Well, I heard you're the new chairman for the reform committees, that's all.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, well, do me a favor, will you? Don't think positive.
Why not?
Well, I know you, Mike. You're gonna make waves. This job isn't for you.
Oh, yeah? Sit down.
Thank you.
What's your job, Manny?
Me? I'm a special assistant.
Who do you assist, Manny?
You know, whoever yells at me the loudest. You see, people in my kind of politics, Mike, are divided into two general classes, the getters and the holders. Me, I'm a holder.
And what do you hold?
Whatever the guy who's yelling at me hands me.
Somebody yell at you to hold me, Manny? Walter Town send you over here?
He asked about you.
Uh-huh. And you told him I was a real nice guy? Old friend, eh?
Something like that, Mike.
Town's trying to scare me out.
No, why would he do a thing like that? Walter Towns gets along fine with everybody.
He just wants to make sure he's going to get along fine with me, is that it?
Mike, this job is not for you. You're too serious. Now, why get your nose out of joint for nothing?
You sound like my wife. Do me a favor, will you, Manny? Tell Towns not to push me too soon.
Look, I run errands for Towns, that's true. But this isn't one of them. This is a special favor from me to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
My best to Martha.
you throw him out?
No, I didn't. Felt like it. He's not too happy with me.
Neither am I.
Martha, I'm going to take that job. Matt, you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. You've been trying to attract outside industry into this town, but not this kind of industry.
And Sam King's enterprises are keeping the legitimate businesses out. That's how we lost Peterson's Plastics to Center City. Well, they were very diplomatic about it, but that was the story.
Can you give us a breakdown of what Peterson's would have meant to this town economically?
Sure I can. So can Ed.
We can check with the chamber in Center City. But what do you have in mind?
Many of our so-called solid citizens are fence-straddling. They're scared they're going to lose a little money when we close Sam King down. I want them to know what he's costing them.
When, the man says. What have you got up your sleeve, Mike?
This, for one thing, names and addresses of every firm and person with an interest in any of the resort establishments in the county, with figures for each of the operations which would seem to indicate income tax fraud.
Is there enough here to get the tax boys started on
You
this?
bet there is. Here's some more. Names, dates, photographs. And Petrie's newspaper to print them in. Right, Al?
That's right. One installment every day for 3 weeks.
Well, first of all, we've got to make sure that the whole group is going to go along with us.
Oh, we're a steering committee. Let's steer.
I thought this fellow Mike Burnett was a friend of yours.
He is.
Did you talk to him?
I did.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know.
Sam King see that?
He did.
And?
Oh, you know how he talks when he gets sore. He wants this Robin Hood put out of action and so forth and so forth.
Sometimes I wonder what he thinks I'm running here.
Sometimes I wonder, too.
What's the matter? You getting soft?
Oh, stop it. I like Mike Burnett.
Sure you do. But you work for Sam King, remember that. Or, would you like to choose up sides?
I'm no hero.
I wonder if, Sam's thinking of starting any trouble.
Sam doesn't want any trouble, especially with civilians. Unless he gets scared. I don't know. This time they got backing. They got Senator Wilbert, an Episcopal bishop, the Council of Ministers, a couple of priests. They've even got Old Man Green and that fella Gillette, and the head of the American Legion, and a couple of other guys who don't push around so easy. This time, Sam just might have a fight on his hands.
I never knew anybody who could veer around the way you do.
Put it down, I'm getting old.
You know, I got a hunch that, Sam's gonna be able to straighten things out, all right?
I know. That's why I'm getting old.
Martha? Well, where's the firebrand?
Late. He has one more meeting before he can come home. You read it, huh?
He really pulled the cork this time. Winton Falls, the whited sepulcher of the Midwest.
Is it all true?
It's true. This is only chapter 1, or so it says here.
Why couldn't he have stayed out of it?
Now, that's what I've been doing for a long time.
Well, it's the only sensible thing to do.
Maybe, but I'm not proud of it. I've been saying for so long that this is a nice little town. We've got a nice little administration here. Nice wide streets and a low tax rate. This is a rotten little town, Martha, with a lot of rotten people running it. And I've never had the guts to stand up and say so.
Martha, I've got some troublesome news for you.
Honey.
Hello, Mr. Cleveland.
What is it?
It's Mike. He's been picked up. He's down at the city jail.
Picked up. What for?
This is awful hard for me, Martha.
Come on, Manny, don't play games.
All right. Well, drinking, for one thing.
What else besides drinking?
I don't know. They got him on some kind of a morals charge. I don't know. I'm real sorry, Martha.
I'll get my jacket.
Oh, they got reporters and photographers. It's a mess.
Is he hurt?
No, he's all right.
Who picked him up?
A couple of city detectives. Walter's trying to keep it as quiet as he can.
Who called the reporters?
Well, they're always hanging around down there. You know those guys.
All right.
Look, you better not go yourself. Send somebody else. They'll take your picture.
Now, wait a minute, Martha. Where did they pick him up?
Well, as near as anybody can figure out, he went to the club for dinner, and he got drunk there. Then he wound up at the Acme Hotel, and...
And Ed what?
Well, they claim somebody was with him.
Let's go.
Martha, you don't understand. If you go down there, they'll take your pictures, smear it all over the papers.
You don't understand, Manny. I'll be proud to have my picture taken with my husband.
He's in here. He'll be all right. He's just sleeping it off.
Where can we talk?
Come into my office.
Be right back, Martha.
He's not as bad off as he looks, Martha.
I wonder if you remember one night, 2 years ago. You came to us in big trouble. It had to do with bad checks. I remember sitting in the living room while Mike, he called half a dozen places to make your debts good. I remember that particularly because we had to borrow money that month to make a payment on the house.
Martha.
Oh, you paid it back. The point is that Mike never asked you to. You were just a friend who was in trouble, so he helped. Because that's the way he is. Annie, you know Mike. He doesn't get drunk and go to the Acme Hotel and pick up 17-year-old girls. This was arranged, wasn't it?
I tried to tell him.
Did you arrange this, Manny?
I knew something was going to happen.
Did you arrange it?
I had nothing to do with it. I called him, yes, but not for this. I asked him to meet me, but he didn't show. I never knew what happened to him until Walter called me. Then I went over to your house and told you.
He's been drugged, hasn't he?
I don't know.
You're a liar.
King doesn't want to make any trouble for your son-in-law, but he's a complainant. At least he's one of the complainants.
What about the other charges?
I'm not sure about that girl that he was supposed to be with. That may turn out to be just a fake.
Well, what about pictures? There are 2 photographers out there with the cameras full of front-page scandal.
Sam King owns the only newspaper that would print it. Of course, if he says no, then nobody else will touch it. You know that. You know that Petrie won't print it.
In other words, if Michael resigns from that committee, there won't be any charges and no publicity.
That's about the size of it. Of course, I'm giving it to you secondhand.
Walter, you and I are 2 sides of the same coin. Political compromise is one thing. Moral compromise is something else. I'm an old compromiser, Walter, and I'm tired. All I have left are memories. Bad memories. And I'm afraid I'm going to have this one to add to a basket full of failures.
Well, I'm going to go and have a talk with that good son-in-law of yours. And I'll show him how we can quash this complaint. And right after that, he'll join our club.
Walter, I'm going to tell you a deep, dark secret. The day some of the good men we push around decide not to join our club, we're through.
How is he, Doctor?
Much better. He'll be fine.
Good. How you feeling? You know, Sam King has this nasty complaint out against you.
Yeah, a complaint? About what?
Well, he has here drunken disorderly, statutory rape, contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
All in one night?
Well, I don't believe it either, but that's what it says. It's a very serious charge.
It's a frame.
Well, whatever it is, it has to be proven.
Oh, man.
It's a shame to have to involve others. I mean, your wife and children.
What are you talking about?
Well, you say it's a frame. Well, if they're going to go that far, who can say where they're going to stop?
Downs have to say?
He said something about my wife and kids.
He's a hard man. You better listen.
Manny, what's your game in this?
You know the rules, Mike. I'm breaking every one of them trying to help you. I got my neck in a noose.
I'll bet you have.
You better do as Town says.
Obviously, I can't depend on police protection. Boy, they really got me in a cell.
I wish I could help more, Mike.
Sacrificial lamb is on the block.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Tell you this about the frame. It was a little beauty.
I'll say this for King. He's smart. He's really got us boxed in.
Mike, if you'd have persevered, they'd have barbecued you, and none of us wants that.
What happened to you was just a sample. If you hadn't backed off, they would have started on Martha. Telephone calls, threats, and then even the children. Anything that would scare you.
That would have scared me.
We didn't think we had the right to ask you or anyone to sacrifice himself. You made the right decision, Mike.
Sure. We keep quiet. They keep quiet. And nothing changes. Absolutely nothing. Only it gets worse.
Well, someday somebody may be able to change it.
Someday, somebody? Sure, I'll buy that. Who? When? Maybe that somebody's supposed to be us.
Mike, not us. You. And you're the one who'll get hurt.
I'm aware of that. So nobody sticks their neck out. And the powers that be continue to run this place in their own way. I don't think I can take that any longer. Either you believe in public morality or you don't. And if you do, you got to be willing to pay the price.
Maybe the price is too high.
I don't think the price is ever too high. I'm never going to be able to look in a mirror again without getting sick to my stomach.
I'll send the children to mothers until it's all over.
You mean that?
Yes.
You sure you know what you're doing?
She knows. All right. As far as I'm concerned, this committee is still functioning. Now, you publish Chapter 2 in your newspaper.
Check.
You make sure we get those signatures on the petition.
Okay.
You get that tax information to the Justice Department.
Right.
And I?
You take care of the women. Make them see their stake in this. What we're fighting for. Why we have to win.
Oh, Mike, we'll win.
What about you, Mayor? You joining us?
Well, I never thought I'd run on a reform ticket. But if you need a candidate, I'm your man.
We need a candidate.
Mike Burnett has made a difficult and costly decision. He has willingly jeopardized his reputation and security in order to seek the moral health of the community in which he lives. Why? What motivates a man like Mike? I think three things. First, Mike realizes his own welfare and that of his family are bound up with that of the community. No man is an island, economically, politically, or morally. If the moral fiber of your community is strong, your family will benefit. If it's weak, your family will suffer. It's as simple as that. Second, Mike possesses a clear set of moral principles. He knows certain things are right and other things are wrong. He doesn't try to shade one into the other. Third, Mike is committed. He is willing to put himself out and, if necessary, suffer in order to promote what he thinks is right and oppose what he thinks is wrong. Mike values his own freedom. He will not compromise his integrity. He refuses to be tyrannized by threats and coercion. Each of us, citizens in a democracy, are committed to the promotion of the common good. This is a moral obligation we cannot shirk without moral fault. This obligation rests particularly upon those who hold public office. They can never, under any circumstances, allow private considerations to deter them from the wholehearted service of the community. To do so would be a serious moral failure. It is expedient, Scripture says of Christ, that one man should die for the sake of the people. Mike Burnett will not have to die. He may not even have to suffer. But he believes strongly enough, he is committed fully enough to make him willing to do so. That's the important thing. Some things are worth suffering for. The moral health of the community is one of these.
Insight is a production of the Paulist Fathers, a group of Catholic priests who serve their God by serving those outside their church.